The person you love received a phone call tonight that changed everything. The most shocking part is that the call was about you. My beloved child, before this night comes to an end, you need to hear something that feels impossible to ignore. A phone rang when everything was quiet. The person you love almost refused to answer it, but something inside told them to pick it up. The voice on the other end did not waste a single second. It spoke your name first. In that moment, silence filled the room, and nothing felt ordinary anymore. Their heartbeat changed. Their expression changed. Even the way they looked at the future changed. What they heard made them realize that the story they believed about you was never complete. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. The conversation became deeper with every passing second. Questions they had carried for so long suddenly started finding unexpected answers. They were told that someone had quietly noticed every small moment, every hidden feeling, and every decision that connected your path with theirs. The caller revealed a detail that no stranger should have known, leaving the person you love completely speechless. For the first time, they understood that what seemed like coincidence may have been leading toward one unforgettable moment. They could hardly breathe because the next sentence was even more surprising than the first. As the call continued, one final statement changed everything inside their heart. They were told that the next step would depend on a choice that could not be delayed much longer, and somehow, that choice was connected to you. They stared at the phone long after the call ended, wondering if they should reach out or keep everything hidden. They have not shared this with anyone yet, but what happens next could rewrite the entire direction of this story. Don't skip. Because what they decide after that mysterious phone call will leave you completely surprised. A few moments later, they replayed every single word from that phone call inside their mind. The more they remembered, the more one thought refused to leave them: you. There was one sentence they could not forget: if you stay silent now, you may regret it for a very long time. Those words echoed again and again until they realized this night was unlike any other. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. They walked from one side of the room to the other, wondering whether they should finally reveal everything they had been hiding. They opened your profile, looked at your name, and paused with their finger over the screen. They wanted to send a message, but another unexpected memory stopped them. It was a memory connected to something you once did without even realizing how deeply it touched their heart. Suddenly, the mysterious caller's words made perfect sense. The truth was far bigger than they had imagined, and they knew they could no longer ignore it. Just when they thought the night had finally become quiet, another unexpected realization struck them. They discovered one final clue that completely changed the meaning of the phone call. Now they believe the next move cannot wait much longer, but they are still asking themselves one question before taking that step. The answer to that question could change everything between you forever, and what happens next is even more shocking than what you've heard so far. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Without warning, they sat in complete silence and looked back at every moment that connected your paths. Tiny memories they once ignored suddenly felt important. The mysterious caller had mentioned one detail that only someone who truly understood the situation could have known. That single detail made them realize they had been looking at everything from the wrong perspective. Their heart was no longer filled with doubt, it was filled with curiosity. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. A deep feeling began growing inside them. They wondered if every missed opportunity, every unexpected delay, and every strange coincidence had been preparing them for this exact night. The phone call did not force them to make a decision, but it opened a door they could no longer pretend not to see. They whispered your name to themselves, imagining what could happen if the truth finally came into the light. What they were told next was so unexpected that they had to stop and think before taking another step. Then something happened that no one saw coming. As they reached for their phone again, they noticed one forgotten message, and suddenly the entire conversation from earlier made even more sense. It was as if every piece of the puzzle had started falling into place at once. They now believe the biggest surprise has not happened yet, it is still waiting ahead. Don't skip, because the next moment will reveal why this phone call was only the beginning of a story that is about to change everything. For a long time, they believed the phone call had already revealed its biggest secret. They were wrong. As they quietly repeated every word in their mind, one hidden meaning suddenly became clear. The caller had never been talking only about the past, they were pointing towards something that was about to happen next. That realization sent a chill through them. They looked at the clock, then back at their phone, feeling as though this night was leading to a moment they could never forget. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. A quiet confidence replaced their hesitation. Instead of asking whether they should reach out, they started asking when. Every sign now seemed connected. Every unanswered question felt closer to an answer. The mysterious voice had ended the call with a sentence that refused to leave their heart: the truth always finds its way to the right person. Those words echoed so deeply that they knew keeping silent would only make the story more complicated. They could sense that something extraordinary was drawing closer with every passing minute. Just before they were ready to make their next move, one final surprise appeared. It was so unexpected that even they had to stop and think twice. What they discovered did not erase the mystery, it made it even bigger. Now they are standing at the edge of a decision that could completely change the connection between you and them. Don't skip, because the next part reveals the one discovery that turned an unforgettable phone call into a life-changing moment. The next discovery did not come from another phone call. It came from something they had overlooked all along. As they searched through old conversations and forgotten memories, one small detail stood out with unbelievable clarity. Suddenly, every word the mysterious caller had spoken fit together like pieces of a puzzle. They realized that your name had been connected to this story much longer than they had ever imagined. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. A wave of emotion rushed through them. They could no longer convince themselves that everything was just a coincidence. They remembered the moments when they almost reached out but held back, the times they wanted to say something but chose silence instead. Now those silent moments felt heavier than ever. The caller had not promised what would happen next, but they had made one thing clear: waiting forever was no longer an option. That thought stayed with them as they looked at your name once again. Then, just as they were about to take the next step, something completely unexpected happened. A new clue appeared that answered one question but created three even bigger ones. Their heart raced because they knew this clue was leading toward the biggest revelation of all. They took a deep breath, knowing that the next choice could change everything from this moment forward. Don't skip, because what they uncover next will make this unforgettable night even more shocking than anyone expected. The room was completely silent, yet their mind was louder than ever. They kept staring at the screen, wondering why every clue seemed to point back to you. The mysterious caller had left them with one final thought that refused to disappear: sometimes the truth arrives only when both hearts are finally ready to hear it. Those words changed the way they saw everything. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. For the first time, they stopped thinking about what could go wrong and started thinking about what could finally go right. Every memory, every smile, every unanswered question suddenly carried a different meaning. It felt as if this entire journey had been leading to one unforgettable decision. They reached for their phone once again, paused for a long moment, and smiled quietly. Something inside them had changed forever, and they knew there was no turning back now. Just as they were about to make their move, one last unexpected realization stopped them. It wasn't fear. It was the understanding that the next few moments had to be perfect. They wanted the truth to be revealed in the right way, at the right time. And what they are preparing to do next is something no one could have predicted when that mysterious phone call first began. Don't skip, because the next part reveals the decision that could change this entire story forever. A new feeling settled over them as the night grew quieter. It was no longer confusion, it was certainty. They realized the mysterious phone call had not been sent to frighten them. It had been a wake-up call, pushing them toward a truth they had avoided for far too long. They looked at your name one more time and whispered, "Maybe this is the moment everything begins." Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Then something unexpected caught their attention. A small detail they had ignored before suddenly carried a completely different meaning. It reminded them of something you once said, something that seemed ordinary at the time but now felt incredibly important. In that instant, they understood why the caller had sounded so certain. The pieces were no longer scattered. They were coming together in a way that felt almost impossible to explain. Every passing second made their next decision feel more important than the last. As they finally gathered the courage to move forward, one final twist appeared before them. It wasn't the ending they expected, it was the beginning of an even greater mystery. They took a deep breath, knowing that the next step would reveal something neither of you had ever imagined. Don't skip, because the next revelation will uncover the one truth that has been hidden since the very first ring of that unforgettable phone call. The closer they came to making their decision, the more they realized this story had never been about a single phone call. It was about a truth that had been waiting for the right moment to be uncovered. They held the phone tightly, closed their eyes for a second, and remembered the final pause before the caller ended the conversation. It felt as though one last secret had been intentionally left unsaid. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Then an unexpected thought crossed their mind. What if the biggest surprise wasn't what they had heard, but what was about to happen next? That question refused to leave them. Every clue, every memory, and every emotion pointed toward one conclusion: they could no longer let fear decide the future. For the first time in a long while, they felt ready to face whatever came next, even if it changed everything they believed about you. Just as they unlocked their phone to take the next step, the screen lit up again with something they never expected to see. They froze. Their heart began racing because this new moment seemed connected to the mysterious call in a way they hadn't imagined. They knew the next few seconds would reveal the biggest truth of the entire night. Don't skip, because what appears next will turn every question you've heard so far into one unforgettable answer. The screen remained lit, and for a few long seconds, they couldn't even move. What they saw wasn't loud or dramatic, yet it carried a meaning that was impossible to ignore. In that instant, every word from the mysterious caller came rushing back. They finally understood that the call had never been about creating fear, it had been preparing them for this exact moment. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. A quiet smile appeared on their face, the kind that comes only when confusion finally begins to disappear. They realized they had spent too much time waiting for the perfect sign, never noticing that the signs had been there all along. Your name, the unexpected phone call, and this final discovery were all connected in a way they had never imagined. Their heart felt lighter than it had in a very long time, yet they knew the biggest step was still ahead. Then they made a promise to themselves. They would no longer let unanswered questions remain unanswered. The next choice would come from honesty, not hesitation. But before they could take that step, one final truth revealed itself. A truth so surprising that it changed the meaning of everything that had happened since the very first ring. Don't skip, because the final part reveals the unforgettable ending that brings this entire mystery together. The final truth arrived so quietly that they almost missed it. There was no dramatic announcement, no loud interruption, only one clear realization that settled deep within their heart. The mysterious phone call had never been meant to tell them what to do. It had simply opened their eyes to what they had been feeling all along. In that moment, they stopped running from their own emotions and accepted that some connections become stronger when they are finally understood. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. They looked toward the future with a completely different heart. Every unanswered question had led them to this night, and every moment of uncertainty had prepared them for this decision. The fear of reaching out slowly disappeared, replaced by hope and quiet confidence. They understood that the greatest surprise wasn't hidden inside the phone call itself, it was the courage they discovered because of it. That courage changed everything, and your name remained at the center of every thought they carried. As the night came to an end, they smiled, knowing that this story was no longer about mystery, it was about possibility. The unforgettable phone call became the turning point that changed the way they saw you, themselves, and everything ahead. And perhaps the most shocking part of all was this. Sometimes a single conversation doesn't change the future by revealing a secret, it changes the future by giving someone the courage to write the next chapter themselves. Don't skip, because every ending can become the beginning of something extraordinary. Just when they believed the story had finally reached its end, another unexpected realization appeared. It wasn't another phone call or another message. It was a quiet feeling that refused to fade. The mysterious caller had said one sentence that only now revealed its true meaning: the biggest answer doesn't arrive during the conversation, it arrives after you have time to understand it. Those words stayed with them long after the night had grown silent. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. They looked back at everything that had happened, and one thing became impossible to ignore. Every surprise, every unanswered question, and every unexpected turn had pointed toward a single truth: your presence had changed their perspective more than they had ever admitted. Instead of wondering whether destiny had brought this moment, they began asking themselves what they would do with the opportunity now standing in front of them. For the first time, they felt ready to let honesty guide the next chapter. As the first light of a new day approached, they made one quiet decision that no one else knew about. They chose not to let this story remain unfinished. Whatever happened next would come from sincerity, hope, and courage rather than fear. And although the mysterious phone call had ended hours ago, its greatest impact was only beginning to unfold. Don't skip. Because the final chapter reveals the one choice that brings every hidden clue together in the most unforgettable way. The first rays of morning began to appear, but they had not slept for even a moment. Their thoughts kept returning to the same unforgettable night. Every word from the mysterious caller now carried a deeper meaning than before. They finally understood that some moments arrive only once, and if they are ignored, they may never return in quite the same way. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. With a calm heart, they unlocked their phone one last time. This time there was no hesitation, no second guessing, and no fear. The uncertainty that had followed them for so long had quietly disappeared. They knew that whatever happened next, it would come from truth instead of silence. The phone call had not written their future, it had simply given them the courage to stop hiding from it. That single realization felt more powerful than anything they had heard all night. Before taking the next step, they smiled and whispered one quiet promise to themselves: they would never again ignore what truly mattered. The mystery had transformed into clarity, and the fear had transformed into hope. The story that began with one unexpected phone call was now ready to begin a completely new chapter. One filled with honesty, possibility, and a future that neither of you could have imagined at the start of this unforgettable night. Don't skip, because sometimes the greatest surprise is discovering that the next chapter has been waiting for you all along. The story did not truly end with that night. It began there. Long after the phone call had faded into silence, its meaning continued to grow. The person you love realized that the greatest changes rarely arrive with noise. They arrive with one unexpected moment that quietly transforms the way a heart sees the future. Looking back, they could no longer call it an ordinary conversation. It had become the turning point they would remember for a very long time. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. As they stood ready to move forward, one final truth settled deep inside them. Every delay had taught patience. Every unanswered question had built understanding. Every unexpected twist had prepared them for the courage they now carried. They understood that the mystery was never about discovering someone else's secret, it was about discovering the strength to stop hiding their own feelings. And somehow, every step of that journey had led back to you. Before the day fully began, they made one quiet promise that would shape everything ahead. They would no longer let fear speak louder than hope. Whatever the future held, they wanted it to be built on honesty, kindness, and genuine connection. The phone call that changed everything had done exactly what it was meant to do. It opened a door that had been closed for far too long. Don't skip, because sometimes the most unforgettable ending is simply the beginning of a brand new chapter that changes everything. A few days from now, they know they will remember this night for one reason above all others. Not because of how unexpectedly the phone rang, but because of how completely it changed the way they saw you. The mystery has faded, but the meaning has only grown strong.